කරණීයමන්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අභිසමිංච සක්ඛෝජුච සුජුච සුවචෝචං සමුදු අනතිමානි සන්තුන්සකෝච සුභරෝච අම්පකින්චෝච සල්ලහුකවුන්ති සන්තින්ද්‍රියෝච නිපකෝච අම්පගම්බෝ කුලේසු අනුනුගින්දෝ නචකුන්දං සමාචරේකින්චි යේන විඤ්ඤූ පරේ උපවදෙයොං සුඛිනෝ වාකේමිනෝ හොන්තු සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා ඒකේචිපාන භූතන්ති තසවාතාවරාවා අනවසේසා දීඝාවායේ මහන්තාවා මංජිමාරංසකානුකතුලා දිත්ථාවායේව අන්දින්තා යේච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාවා සම්භවේසීවා සම්බේ සන්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතන්තා නපරෝ පරං නිකුම්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත කන්තචිනං කංචි ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤමඤ්ඤංස දුක්ඛමිච්ඡේය මාතායතානියං පුන්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුන්ත මනුරංකේ ඒවම්පි සම්බභූතේසු මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ මෙත්තංච සම්බලෝකස්මින් මාන සංභාවයේ අපරිමාණ උන්දං අදෝච තිරියංච අසංභාදං අවේරං අසපන්තං තින්ඨං චරං නිසින්නෝවා සයානෝවා යාවතංස විගතමින්දෝ ඊතං සතින් අදින්ඨේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතං විහාරං ඉදමාෝ දින්ඨින්ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දන්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනය්‍යගේදං නහි ජාතු ගම්බසේයං පුනරේති Sukhiyantanang pariharami mama mathapitu acariyaca nyati mithaca sambrahmacharino ca avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sukhiyantanang pariharantu iman ming arami sambe yogino avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sukhiyantanang pariharantu imasming arami sambe bhikkhu sambhe bhikkhuni samaneraca samanerica upasaka upasikayoca avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sukhiyantanang pariharantu amhakang catupancayadayaka avera hontu ambya panja hontu anigha hontu sukhiyantanang pariharantu Amhakang arangkadeyata Iman ming vihare Iman ming awase
Namo Buddhaya. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, very good morning to all of you. Happy Father's Day. That's the day. Remember, just have gratitude to your parents. Thank you for all those who are joining from many places. Sadhu sadhu for spending your Sunday morning for the Buddha Puja service and to listen to the Dhamma talk with your families and friends. You may prepare a candle or oil lamp or any other offerings to offer at your altar. Wait for announcement to light the candle together with Venerable Dr. Dhammapala. To those who have joined us, welcome to Subang Jaya Buddhist Association. This is the 89th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. Let us prepare ourselves by sitting comfortably, relax our bodies and compose our mind. Let go of thinking about the past and future and be in the present moment. Brothers and sisters, I shall now hand over to Dr. Dhammapala to make the offerings to the Buddha. To the devotees, you may also light your candles or oil lamp. And for the rest of you, please place your palms together in Anjali position. Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let's pay homage to the triple gems. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, together we shall invite Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to administer to us the three refuges and the five precepts. Aham bante samsaravata dukato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katwa silang deta me bante Dutiyampi ahang bante samsaravata dukato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katwa silang deta me bante Tatiyampi ahang bante samsaravata dukato mochanataya tisaranena saha pancha silang dhammang yachami anugahang katwa silang deta me bante.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Pancasila. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Anatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surameraya japamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sura meraya macca pama dattana veramani sikka padang samadhiyami.
Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami.
Appamadena sampadeta.
Amabante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Buddhanusati, recollection of the Buddha. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anotaro purisadam masarati Satta deva mano sanang buddho bhagavati Dhammanusati, recollection of the Dhamma. Suakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipasiko opanayiko pachatang veditabo vinyohiti. Sanghanusati, recollection of the Sangha. Supatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Ujjapatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipano bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yogani atta purisa pogala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo, ahuneyo, dakineyo, anjali karaniyo, anutara punyaketang loka sati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo Buddhaya and good morning, Apante, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. It is indeed a blessing for us to be able to have a Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to be with us again in our Sunday Buddha service. We shall also be inviting Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to give us a Dhamma talk this morning in both English and in Mandarin on meditation versus health, longevity, illness healing, a topic I think many of us will be interested to listen to and also would like to find out more. And if you have any questions pertaining to this talk, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, you may type your questions in the comment section. We shall invite Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to reply your questions after the talk. However, due to time constraint, we might not be able to answer all your questions, in which case we ask for your forgiveness and understanding. I believe most of us already know Venerable Dr. Dhammapala very well, but for the information of those who may be new with Venerable Dr. Dhammapala, let me introduce the Venerable. Venerable Dr. Dhammapala was born in Kuching in 1970. He was ordained as Upasampada Bhikkhu in Wat Chong, Kedah in 1994 under the most respected Chao Kun, Pra Raj Dhammatara, who was then the chief Siamese Sangha Nayaka in Malaysia. Subsequently, he sought spiritual dependence under the guidance of Pandey Dhammasakaro Mahathero. He spent 15 years studying Buddhist philosophy, Pali and Sanskrit literatures in Sri Lanka and Hong Kong. In 2009, Venerable Dr. Dhammapala obtained his doctorate of philosophy in Buddhist studies under the supervision of Professor Venerable K.L. Dhamma-Jyoti in the University of Hong Kong. After his graduation, he was appointed as chief editor and spiritual director for the Buddhist Door website, one of the oldest and largest Buddhist websites in the world. In 2010 to 2013, he was the visiting assistant professor at the Center of Buddhist Studies, the University of Hong Kong. He traveled frequently conducting meditation, retreats, Dhamma talks, and teaching in Malaysia, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China. Venerable Dr. Dhammapala is now the abbot of Brahma Vihara Monastery and Retreat Center, Malacca, and also the monastic advisor of the Theravada Buddhist Council of Malaysia. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, with deep respect, we invite Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to begin the Dhamma talk. 我们尊敬的邀请法护比丘为我们佛法开示。今天的题目是禅修对比健康正受治病。Pandey.
So thank you very much. So I believe Brother Chim Chinese and Mandarin has improved a lot. Huh? Okay, so good morning. Namo Buddhaya. Okay, so my topic today is meditation versus health, longevity, and illness healing. 所以今天我要跟大家分享的题目是禅修对比健康、增寿还有治病。So in the past 2-3 decades, right, Buddhist teaching and practices have been quite popular in the West, mainly because from the scientific perspective, Buddhist mindfulness practice has been proved effectively as one of the healing power. And this has helped the spread of Buddhist mindfulness practice in the West, giving many people of non-Buddhist belief the opportunity to gain the benefits of mindfulness practice. So although in the early Buddhist suttas, right, Buddhist meditation always aim at liberation from the dukkha, right, that is nirvana. There are many other suttas as well dealing with the relationship between meditation and health. So this morning I'm going to quote a few suttas which that the Buddhas and his disciples often taught the sick to cultivate the mindful meditation, right? Particularly the four foundation of mindfulness, the Satipatthana Bhavana. So in addition to this ultimate realization of nirvana, you see that is the final goal. And meditation also can bring about the tangible benefits that can be experienced in this very moment, right? To cure the meditators' disease and illness, so that the meditators can live happily in this present life. So even if the meditator cannot cure the disease through meditation, he can also endure the suffering of the body without experiencing mental suffering, and happily and readily facing the unavoidable old age, sickness, and death with mindfulness and awareness, right? So these two, sati and sampajanya. 那么在这20多年来，20-30年来，我们看到呢，有关于佛教的教育呢，还有修行呢，在西方都获得肯定。主要还是呢，从这个科学的角度，体证了就是验证了这个初期佛教的正念修行，它所具备的这个疗愈的这个力量。那这帮助了佛教正念修行在西方世界的传播，那使得非佛教徒呢，就是没有佛教信仰的人呢，有这个机会呢，就是拿掉这个宗教的色彩，那么站在科学的这个医疗体系内呢，获得正念修行的利益。那么虽然呢，我们在这个初期的原始佛教经典，在巴利经典呢，我们看到了很多禅修都是以处世间的解脱为终极的目的呢。但是在谈到这个禅修以健康的这个经典呢，并不是多见的。所以呢，今天我们要从这些呢为数不多的经文可以明确的得知，就是佛陀呢，还有他的弟子们，经常呢教导就是病患的人呢，就是修习这个试念处的修行。那当然，这个原因呢，就是这个试念处的这个修行它的力量呢，不单只是能够带给人们这个处世间的利益之外呢，它也可以带来现世的这种利益那么也可以治疗这个禅修者的这个病痛了。那么令这个禅修者都能够我们讲就是说现世都能够得到快乐。所以呢，我们讲即使是一个禅修的人，他无法藉由这个禅修获得就是治疗这个疾病呢，他也可以呢忍受这个痛苦而不受这个辛苦。所以呢，一般我们出家人有时会去看病人，我们都会有一句话都会讲说我们呢身体病好了，不要让心也病所以这个是很重要的。所以呢，我们讲这个正念呢，正知我们可以面对我们未来面对这个生老病死的这个世间的现象。Okay, now we go straight to the suttas, right? The first suttas that I'm going to quote is the Chankama suttas, right? Chankama means walking meditation. And this Chankama Sutta is found in the Anguttara Nikaya, right? And in that suttas, the Buddha says, right, bhikkhus, there are these 5 benefits of walking meditation. And what 5? So one becomes capable of journey, right? That is to say, one who practices walking meditation can walk a long distance, okay? Then the second one becomes capable of striving. That is to say, enduring, right? So one who practices walking meditation can endure exertion and gaining strength. So the endurance, learn from, practice, learn from the walking meditation, can carry over to other activities that require endurance as well. And the third one becomes healthy. That is to say, one who practices walking meditation, right, can be free from diseases and becomes more healthy. And of course, walking meditation, can clear all illnesses from the body. Then, the body becomes more healthy and more strong, right? And the fourth one, what one has eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted is properly digested. So it says, one who practices walking meditation can improve digestion, right? So if you feel, bloated or overfull after a meal, so you can try, walking meditation. You go for a walk, right? And the last benefit, that is concentration, attained through walking meditation is long-lasting. Okay, the concentration. So one who practices walking meditation can develop concentration. So it is quite common that meditators find difficult to sit still, right, in sitting meditation. That is because, they will complain they have too much thought or too much distracted thought, or they are so restless, to practice. So if that is the case, right, before walking meditation, why not go for a walking meditation? 那么我们来看第一部经啊，就是这个行禅经哈。这部经呢是在这个真字部里面。那在这一部经里面呢，有直接提到就是禅修啊，就是行禅能带来这5种利益。第一种呢就是康能远行，意思就是说一个禅修的人啊，他可以呢长时间啊，就是远行啊，就是去远的地方哈，长行。那第二呢，康能精进啊，就是有耐力。所以呢，禅修者呢，他可以忍受这个劳累啊，就从行禅中呢学到这个耐力。那么当然啊，这种的耐力呢，也可以用在其他的这个活动里面哈。OK， 所以行禅它有能够培养这个耐力。第三呢，就是少病，就是说一个行禅的人，他可以呢远离这个疾病，那身体呢变得更加的健康。那么这个少病当然就是指身体很健康了哈。那第4种呢，就是善消化所食、所饮、所觉、所禅啊。那就是说，我们一般可能在用完餐之后呢，我们会感觉到身体哇，这肚子有一点腹胀，或者是有点饱。那么我们可以行禅，就是说透过行禅啊，我们可以呢消化哈所以呢这个也是直接跟这个身体健康有关的。那第5种呢，就是行禅它所得到的这个定呢，可以让我们在行禅更加的久啊。所以我们讲行禅，它可以专注这个专注力啊。那么一般上呢，我们在行禅的时候就是在坐禅的时候，我们心很难平静下来很难专注。那么也导致呢，因为行禅而没有坐禅而没有行禅呢，很多人就做不下去了，然后就放弃了。所以呢，大家可以试着呢，就是行禅所以一般在一些禅修道场除了有坐禅之外呢，我们也会有提供这个行禅的这个地方。Then, okay, we look at the second suttas, that is from the Milinda-Panha, right? And in these suttas, it says that there are 28 good qualities of meditation. Of these 28 qualities of meditation, right, you find the second and the third one, I think they are quite relevant. That is, give, meditators long life, ayung vadheti. And the third one is endow with power, gaining more power, gaining more strength, right? More endurance. 那么在这个弥兰陀王问经这是第2部经那么里面有谈到就是禅修呢能够带给修行者呢28种的利益。那其中呢有2种的利益呢，我觉得也跟我们今天的主题蛮相似的，就是增长寿命能够让你的寿命更加的延长所以你要你的寿命延长的话呢真的需要来禅修也不单只是禅修，我们也要行禅那么还有当然也给予力量就是有禅修我们身体就很有力量。那么这2种的利益所以呢的确佛教的这个行禅坐禅都能够呢促进我们身体的健康。All right, now we look at the third suttas. That is from the Majjhima Nikaya. That is Mahasalayatana, Mahasalayattanika suttas. So in these suttas, it says, right, if one practice vipassana, okay, with vipassana, I mean, when you talk about the vipassana, you are able to see things as they are, right? The word there is found is jhanam pasam yatabhutam. It says that whatever the feeling that arises, be it pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, or neutral feeling, he is not perturbed by greed, hatred, etc. Right? He experiences bodily and mentally, joys and happiness. Right? So I'm going to recite, this short passage from this sutta. It says, bhikkhus. Right? Usually, when Buddha addressed the monk, he would say bhikkhus. Right? when one knows and see the eyes, right, or see the form, or see the eye consciousness, okay, as it actually is. That is a word that I use, jhana pasang yataha bhutam, as it is. When one knows and see eyes contact as it actually is, when one knows and see as it actually is, the feeling felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises with eye contacts as condition, then one is not inflamed by lust for the eyes, for the forms, for the eye consciousness, for the eyes contact, for the feeling felt as pleasant or painful, or neither painful nor pleasant, that arises. Okay? So, when one abides unflamed by lust, okay, etc., then the five aggregates, they refer to the body, right? Five aggregates affected by clinging are diminished for oneself in the future, and one's craving, right, is abandoned. Then one experienced, the bodily and mentally, pleasure. Okay, so this is, from these sutras. 那接下来我们看第三部经呢，这是从中部里面，里面有提到一部经呢，叫做《大六处经》。那这一部经里面呢，有谈到就是当一个人呢修习这个观察的时候啊，如是知见，就是指这个 jhana pasang yataha bhutam。那么对升起的这个乐受啊，或者是苦受，或者是不苦不乐的受呢，都不会升起任何的这个贪爱哈，就是当下呢，他可以体验身心的这种快乐哈，就是他的这个身心当下的这个身心的这些苦恼呢，这些不适的感觉呢，都能够呢消除。好 ，OK， 所以这个是第三部经。Okay, now we look at the fourth suttas. That is from the Samyutta Nikaya. It's from the Anathapindika Suttas. Okay, and one day, the householders, the Anathapindika, we know he is very famous, in our Buddhist suttas. Right? One day he was sick, suffering, and quite seriously ill. So he asked his servant, right, to invite Venerable Sariputtas and out of compassion, Sariputta accepted the invitation and visited Anathapindika. Then Venerable Sariputtas, came with Venerable Ananda, to his house. So he reminds the householders Anathapindika. He asked, he delivered the sutta, right? Seeing in himself the experiential confidence in the Buddhas. Right? Seeing in himself the experiential confidence in the Dhammas, seeing in himself the experiential confidence in the Sangha. Another one, seeing in himself the ethical conduct loved by the noble ones. The pain may die down on the spot. Then it says the householders Anathapindika recovers from the pain. Okay, so it means that when we go for blessing, particularly people fall sick, we usually ask the sick person to arouse the faith in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and what they call this, the ethical conduct, the morality, okay, the sila. So this is how Anathapindika was recovered from the pain. And of course, the same sutta, it says that the Sariputtas analyzed, these 10 factors. 10 factors also. You look at these 10 factors, the first 8 belongs to the Noble Eightfold Path, right? So Noble Eightfold Path. So you see, seeing in yourself the right view, the right thought, the right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. And the last 2 is the right knowledge and the right freedom. Then you see in yourself, these 10 factors, right? The pain may die down on the spot. Then it says the householders Anathapindika recovered from the pain. Okay, so this is what we get it from the suttas. Okay. 那接下来我们看一下，就是在这个相应部里面，有一部经啊，就是给孤独经啊，就是给孤独长者啊这部经。那么有一天呢，这个给孤独长者啊，他病重非常的严重。那么他就吩咐呢，他的工人就是佣人就是邀请舍利弗尊者呢前往来看病。那么舍利弗尊者呢就接受了他的佣人的这个请求。那么就为他说法。那么在这个说法的内容是什么呢？就是这个舍利弗尊者就是叫这个给孤独长者呢提起这个四不坏性就是提起这个信心。那这个信心是什么呢？就是正观自己对佛的不尽信，就是说升起对这个佛法僧三宝的这个尽信升起这个信心。所以呢，一般我们会去念什么经呢？我们都会念比如说叫他提起他对这个佛法僧三宝这个随念的这个经文当然第四种呢，就是正观自己对圣者所爱之戒的不坏尽信所以呢，这个也是会念的所以呢，这个给孤独长者呢，一听完这个舍利弗尊者为他开示之后呢，那么他的身体的这个不舒服的这个感觉呢，就止息了。所以呢，我们可以看得到的就是舍利弗尊者呢，他提醒这个长者就是他自身所修的对这个佛法僧三宝还有这个圣戒呢，升起这个不动摇的这个信念那么也同时呢，告诉这个给孤独长者，就是要不断的去意念这些高尚的品德。那么在意念这些高尚的品德呢，可以消除我们的这个病痛。所以有时呢，当我们不适的时候呢，我们也可以念这个随念这个三宝的这个功德。那么另外呢，舍利弗尊者呢，也是在同一部经里面也为他开示这个十道智这十道智呢，前8个呢就是八圣道那么再加最后的这个正智跟这个正解脱所以呢，舍利弗尊者呢给他讲完这个四不坏性呢，加上这十道智之后呢，那么这位长者他的这个苦受呢这个不适的这苦受呢就立即止息了Now, we look at another suttas. This sutta is very interesting because it's talking about the meditation, right? And this is the 5th suttas, quoted. That is from the Anguttara Nikaya, right? Girimananda Suttas. Okay? So it says that one day, the bhikkhu, Girimananda, he was sick. And the Buddha encouraged, Ananda to visit Girimananda and speak to him, these 10 types of perception. If you look at this, 10 types of perception, they are basically methods of meditation, okay? And of course, in the Buddhist method of meditation, there are many perceptions, right? Then why Buddha chooses these 10 perception as a perception of healing, right? And, and ask Venerable Ananda to tell the Bhikkhu Girimananda, these 10 perception. Then why Buddha choose these 10 perception? I think some of you may ask, right? And of course, you look at, the contents of these 10 perception, they are basically deal with, the distorted view. That could be probably, Bhikkhu Girimananda. He was sick because he was tortured, or afflicted or tortured by these distorted views, right? Or distorted thought, right? Or the upside downest views, right? So in order to heal him, right, the Buddha wanted him, to see the undistorted truth, okay, in each of these 10 perception, okay? So when you train, to see this undistorted truth, right, your mind will become joyful. So the Buddha encouraged the Girimananda Bhikkhu, right, to recognize and to accept that all things are always changing. So to, stimulate, right? His joys, right? And happiness. So having understood this, right, Bhikkhu Girimanandas, realizing this, he was not attached, to the five aggregates, to the clinging of one's own body and mind. Then, in that case, he will not be suffered, physically and mentally, right? So you see, in the whole of the meditation, where you practiced, samatha vipassana, eventually you experience the joys, right? You experience the joys because you understand, you see things as they are. Okay, you see, you realize the truth. You realize, you see. So the kind of and mental energy, that kind of joyful power can bring, certain chemical changes in the body. You see, that joy is a very powerful, the healing. That kind of joys, can heal the illness in the body. So as we meditate on this 10 perception, you see, it's basically about, changing, the distorted perception to undistorted perception. So we can see that our mind also changing from ordinary and wrong perception, to enlightened insight, to vipassana, and that lead us to liberation from confusion and from unhappiness. Okay, so you look at the first one, the perception of impermanent. Okay, the perception of impermanent, anicca sanya. You see, when you look at this impermanent, it's about the perception of impermanent. What is this impermanent? So it says that, the Buddha says, we contemplate, the impermanent with regard to the five aggregates, with regard to the panchaskandhas, right? Rupa, Vedana, Sanjña, Sanskara, and Vijnana. Okay, that is basically the body, right? The impermanent nature of the body. Okay, so it's quite easy to understand. And the second one is the perception of non-self, right? Non-self is anatta. And this anatta, it means anatta with regard to, these six sense faculties with the corresponding, the six sense object. Okay, so we can say that this six sense faculty plus six sense object, these 12 are called the 12 sense sphere. This is how we cognize the experience of the world, right? So this is, called in Pali, it's called ayatana. Ayatana is a sense sphere, so it's called the 12 sense sphere. So, you perceive, the non-self, the anatta, with regard to these 12 ayatanas. So this is the second one. And the third one is the perception of unattractiveness. When you talk about the unattractiveness, it means that, our body is full of foulness. So you are contemplating the 32 unattractiveness, okay, in the body. So I'm not going to go into the details of this 32, right? So if you're interested, you can, easily Google, or you can read the book. So the first one, the fourth one is a perception of danger. Okay, when you talk about the danger, you see, the Buddha also teaches us, to contemplate the body, as a source of pain and danger. Yeah, because, the body has all sort of affliction, all kinds of diseases. So train not to attach, to this, to this body, right? So perceive, contemplate the body as a source of danger. Okay, now you look at these four perception. These four perception you can see on the screen. These four perception. These are four distortion. Okay, these four upside downness of view. When you talking about the four types of distortion, what are these four types of distortion? There is a distortion of permanent. With regard to what is impermanent. But the Buddha says everything is impermanent, but we perceive them as permanent. So this is the first distortion. That's why the Buddha teaches us the perception of impermanent in order to remove the distortion of permanent. Okay? And the second one is the distortion of self with regard to the non-self, anatta. So the Buddha teaches us the perception of non-self right? To get rid of the distortion of self. Okay, yeah. And the third one is the perception of unattractiveness. Okay, so that you see the upside downers view, the distortion is the distortion of self, right? Foolish people like us, we tend to believe there is the self, the permanent self, but in fact, Buddha say, there's non-self, right? So the Buddha teaches us, the perception of unattractiveness, right? Sorry, this is the third one. The perception of unattractiveness. You see, usually we attached, the distortion of this attractiveness with regard to what unattractive. You see, usually, people foolish people like to attach the body. You see, they attract to the body. That's why they use a lot of makeup, cosmetic to beautify the body. So they have a lot of attachment to the body, right? So we have this distortion of attractiveness. But in fact, this body is full of unattractive. So this is also another distortion. Then the fourth one is a perception of danger. Okay, so you see, foolish people have the distortion of pleasure with regard to what is suffering. Okay, so the fourth one, the perception of danger, the fourth type of training is to to get rid of this distortion of pleasure. So you see, these are the four upside downers of view. Okay, upside downers of view. So you can see that the first four, they are very, very vipassana training. Okay, so this is how we train, to see things, quite differently. Yeah, vipassana. Okay, now the fifth one is the perception of abandoning. Okay, when you talk about the abandoning, you are talking about the removing of the sensual thought, the removing of the ill will, right, anger, and the removing of the harmful thought, right? And of course, together with some other very unwholesome, some others very evil thoughts, okay? So this is a perception of abandoning, okay? So once you have all this training, right, you also abandon all this, sensual thought, ill will, harmful thought. Then another four, you look at number 6, 7, 8, 9. These four types of perception, we need to train our mind, to incline, our mind, to nibbana. You see, training to attain liberation or nirvana, we have to train our mind. You see, the kind of incline our mind. And how to train our mind to incline towards nirvana? So the Buddha taught Girimananda these four perception: the dissipation, the cessation, right? And the non-delight in the entire world, and the perception of impermanent in all four condition phenomena. Okay, so I think perception of the dissipation and the cessation, they are basically quite the same. It's about the contemplation of the experience of nirvana, because we have to incline our mind to nirvana. Then we have to experience, you see, the state of nirvana. What is this state of nirvana? That is so peaceful, that is so sublime, that is, the stealing of all the activities, you see. So, and you also experience, destruction of craving, cessation of all defilement. So these are the experience of nirvana. So we train to incline our mind, towards nirvana. And of course, you also train, also have the non-delight in the entire world. Right? When you talk about non-delight in the entire world, it means that you have practiced the non-clinging to the mundane things in the world. Right? So you abandon them without clinging to them. Okay, so then another one is a perception of impermanent in all conditioned phenomena. Okay, so you see, usually bhikkhus are trained, to be disgusted, right, with regard to all the conditioned phenomena, because so this is how our training. So don't get attached to all these things. Okay, then the last one is talking about the mindfulness of breathing, anapanasati. right? So this is a culmination point. After all these things, you see, you come back to the mindfulness of breathing. Here under this Anapanasati, it mentioned about 16 steps of mindfulness breathing. Okay, so this is the whole of Girimananda Suttas, culminating in the 16 stages of mindfulness of breathing, eventually lead to the realization of nirvana. Okay, so Venerable Ananda, right, learned all this, from the Buddhists. Then he went to Venerable, Girimananda and spoke to him about this 10 perception. So again, Girimananda Bhikkhu, after listening to this 10 perception, his sickness also subsided. And he says that Bhikkhu Girimananda was also recovered. Okay, so this is how he cured his sickness, through the contemplation of 10 perception. If you look at the contents of these 10 perception, they're all dealing with the vipassana, dealing with the experience of nirvana, right, and the practice of the mindfulness breathing. OK， 哇，那我们来看一下这个，在这个真知部里面有一部经这部经叫做 Girimananda。那在这一部经里面呢，有谈到10种想。Girimananda 呢，他有一天他生病了，他还是凡夫他生病了。那佛陀就告诉阿难陀了，说：“哎呀，你还是去接一下这个Girimananda， 就跟他讲这10种想。那么也许呢，这个 Girimananda 比丘呢，在听完这10种想之后呢，他可能病也会痊愈了那当然，我们看这10种想呢，其实它就是10种不同的修行方法。那么我们都知道，在佛陀的这个教禅方面呢，他很多的想，很多的修行方法。那为什么佛陀只讲这10种的想呢，作为这个疗愈呢，就是作为这个就是消除他的病患呢？我想这是有原因的所以呢，佛陀告诉这个阿难陀尊者告诉这10种想，也许呢 Girimananda 就是这位比丘呢，他生病，主要呢他是受到这个错误的思想就是这种我们所说这种颠倒思想引起的。那么那这10种这种颠倒的思想是什么呢？就是我们佛教讲的这个常乐我净就是常乐我净。所以呢，佛陀所以你看这10种想的时候呢，前4种想呢，基本上呢就是要矫正对世间错误的这个看法世间错的看法。那世间错的看法是什么呢？就是常乐我净嘛所以呢，佛陀教导这个无常想呢，主要就是要破除这个常想告诉我们这个五欲呢，它就是个无常来的所以不要去执着这个常那第二呢，就是无我想。这个无我里面呢，经典里面教导的就是对于这个12处，就是指的这个6根跟6境就是我们这个眼耳鼻舌身意对这个色声香味触法这12种，这12处呢我们要观想这12处呢，它都是无我的，就是在里面你找不到有一个我在主宰这个身体所以呢，我们要观想这个无我。那第3呢，就是不净想。这个不净想呢我们一般人都会执着身体的净所以我们会不断的在掩饰自己，我们都会把自己打扮得漂漂亮亮我们很执着这个身体，而不知呢，我们这个身体呢是充满不净的所以呢，我们可以顺念在经典里面有教导这32种的不净观那第4种呢，就是过患想这个过患呢，就是要教导我们这个身体有很多的这个病苦有很多的这个过患不要执着这个身体这个呢也是破除另一个颠倒呢，就是乐的这个颠倒。所以呢，这4种想呢，其实它就是破除这个常乐我净的思想所以呢，你看第1种无常想，它其实就是修习这个无常它可以破除这种常的这个思想修习这个无我想呢，它可以破除这个我的想修习这个不净想呢，它可以破除这个净的颠倒那么修 修习这个过幻想呢，它可以破除这个乐的颠倒所以就是常乐无尽的。那接下来我们看这个断想断想这个断是什么呢？就是透过我们修行的目的也是要断除这个贪嗔痴嘛，就是我们的贪欲我们的嗔恚去除这些不好的这个不好的念头，还有包括一些很邪恶的念头，一些不善的这个念头，所以我们要透过这个断想来断除它。那么接下来呢，第6、第7、第8、第9这4种想呢很有意思所以你看，在通往去向这个涅槃，我们不断的要让我们的心有这种去向涅槃的这个趋向就是不断的训练那涅槃是什么呢？你看在第6跟第7离贪想跟这个灭想这个部分呢不断佛陀在这个教导里面就是要怎么来观这个涅槃呢佛陀教导我们这个涅槃是极静的这涅槃是非常殊胜的这个涅槃呢就是一切行都会停止，那么还有一切的这些都会断除，还有贪爱的这个断除那么也可以离贪嗔痴等等等等。所以呢这个是顺应我们的心就是倾向整个涅槃。所以呢这个是不断的要培训陪我们的心去向这个涅槃所以呢就有这个什么离贪想还有灭想，还有呢包括这个不乐一切世间想就是不对世间有任何的这个乐啦不会去执取这个世间。还有呢一切行的无常想呢，这里面就是教导我们就认为这世间还是在这个世间运作的这些因缘法它都是不断的在变迁的。所以我们要有一种对这些一切行这世间想呢有那种厌嫌那种厌恶那种羞耻的一个心态那最后呢有谈到的这个触入细想，那你会发现到最后呢佛陀就教导禅修了这个禅修呢就是这个触入细念那么在这个触入细念里面呢有这16种观呼吸的这个步骤了就是观世。其实这16种的观呼吸的步骤呢也包括了止根观就是趋向涅槃。那么佛陀呢就跟这个阿难尊者讲，阿难呢就跟这个 Girimananda 讲，那么 Girimananda 听完这10种想之后呢他的病呢就痊愈了所以呢我们可以看得到的就是在整个过程里面，当阿难尊者呢给这个 Girimananda 讲这10种想的时候呢 Girimananda 的心呢是非常非常的喜悦的所以呢当他感受到那种喜悦，就是这些都是真理嘛，我们说嘛那他在听完这些真理，内心升起一种很强烈的这种喜悦。这种喜悦我们讲在修行里面它是非常重要的，因为这种喜悦的心呢，它能够促使我们的大脑还有我们的身体呢产生一种就是身心嘛产生一种这个疗愈的这个化学的反应它会让我们的心呢更趋向平静更趋向安稳所以呢也很直接的会让我们的这个身体也感受到很平静所以呢所有的痛呢也就可以消除了。所以呢可以看得出来禅修非常非常的重要。Okay, now we look at another 3 more suttas, right? That is from the Bojjhanga suttas, 7 factors of enlightenment. Right, they are the Mahakashapatera Bojjhanga, Mahamoggallana Bojjhanga, and Mahachundatera Bojjhanga. Right, so it is said that these 3 suttas, when I taught these 3 suttas, these suttas is about the recollection of the 7 factors of enlightenment, and then it says that it can cure the physical elements and the sickness of even Arhat, or including the Buddha himself. Right, so in Arhat, though they have already attained Arhatship, still they are subject to decay, they are subject to sickness, right? So from time to time, they listen to this Bojjhanga Sutta, they also feel rejoice. They say they can overcome their pain also in the body. Right? You look at the first two suttas, right? Mahakashapa and Mahamoggallana. You see, both of them were Arhat. And of course, they're also quite seriously ill, right? Sometimes, due to, it's like that. No one can escape from the sickness. So they fall sick. Then the Buddha recited the 7 factors of enlightenment, right? Satipojanga. And after listening to the Buddha's recitation of these 7 factors of enlightenment, right? They recovered. You see, I think some of you might ask, you see, they were already Arahat. Huh? Anyway, the point here is Mahakashapa and Mahamoggallana, they were Arahat. In fact, they also have fulfilled the 7 factors of enlightenment, right? Yeah. You see, though they are sick, but they listen to these 7 factors of enlightenment. You see, they also have that kind of joys. It's like I said, when they have that kind of joys, you see, that kind of joys also, bring about, calmness and peacefulness of the body. You see, eventually their illness also recovered. And then another one is Mahachunda Bojanga. Okay, this sutta is this, because the Buddha also sometimes felt sick. Right? He was sick one day. Then he instructed Mahachunda, okay, one of his disciples, to recite the 7 factors of enlightenment. So when the Buddha heard, the recitation, heard the chanting, he also rejoiced at the chanting, and he was recovered. So now in our traditional, in our Buddhist practice, usually when people fall sick, right, we went and we also chant, these 7 factors of enlightenment, these 3, the Bojanga Sutras, plus another one is Grimananda Sutras. Okay, so these 3 are quite popular. Okay, 那么我们来看最后3部经哈，就是有关于这个气觉支当然我们都知道这个气觉支是什么，其实气觉支就是证悟的这个必要条件嘛当然它也可以治疗身体的这个病苦，所以这3部经呢，就是其实讲的就是气觉支那么第1部经跟第2部经呢，就是大迦叶尊者还有大目犍连尊者觉支那这2部经呢，其实就是2位弟子，他2位弟子就是迦叶尊者跟目犍连尊者就是有一天他们生病了，那佛陀呢就给他们讲这个气觉支。那这2位大尊者呢你看他们都已经是大阿罗汉了就是其实他们的气觉支已经圆满了，但他们还是生病还是因为身体的不适所以生病了，所以呢佛陀给他们讲这气觉支，他们听完之后呢，他们的身体也就疗愈了就好了，痊愈了。那么第3部经呢，就是 Mahachunda Thera Mahachunda。那么有一天呢佛陀他也生病嘛你不要以为阿罗汉佛陀他们不会生病，他还是会生病的，但是他们的生病不会影响心的那么当然这里面的经就是讲说，因为佛陀给这个大纯陀尊者给他诵念这部经之后呢，那么佛陀呢听完之后呢，心生起喜悦那么这个喜悦心呢，能够促使身体痊愈所以你看我们学佛，不管你是学佛也好，或者诵经我们要升起这种喜悦的心，所以我们要随喜赞叹那随喜赞叹，你不是只是嘴巴讲要有行动身心那种随喜赞叹，这种随喜赞叹的心它很奇妙的，它能够让我们的身心都能够感觉到很舒服，感觉到很快乐所以呢我们很多事情我们都可以得到解决So you see, Buddhists believe, right? This kind of power healing, right? Power healing by hearing to the chanting, right? Usually Buddhists like to listen to the monk chanting, right? Okay, so you see, when the Buddhists listen to this chanting, their joys, will arise in their heart, in their mind. So that kind of, the joyful power, that kind of power of joys, bring about, some chemical changes in the body. Okay, and that chemical changes, right, can reduce the pains of the body. Okay, so we are not scientists, so we won't go into the details, how this chemical changes. But anyway, a lot of research said, when you have that kind of joy, so through meditation, through gaining faith in the Buddha Dharma Sanghas, you have that, the chemical, changes generated in the body, and that bring about the body and mind, soothing. And you see, there is also another incident mentioned in the commentaries of Majjhima Nikaya. It says that a monk, right, who was listening to the teaching, while listening to the teaching, he was beaten by a poison snake. So of course, despite of his severe pain, he continued to listen to the Dhamma. The venom spreads, throughout his body, and the pain become very aggressive, very acute. Then that monk, he start contemplating, his morality, from the times he becomes a monk, to the present, while contemplating on his virtues, the morality, then he realized the morality of, the purity of his morality, then the great joys and satisfaction and happiness arose in his heart, right? So we say, this kind of joys, you see, causes some chemical reaction or changes in the body. So that is to say, through this kind of, secretion of the healing hormones, right? The healing factors in the body will be activated, right? So that the pain will be healed, right? So we say the joys, in the meditation is very important. The pain that arose in the body it's like a mind antibody, right? That can make his body heal. 那有时候我们可以看到这个佛教徒呢，就是他们佛教徒很喜欢呢，就去寺院呢，就是听经嘛，闻法嘛。当他们去寺庙听经闻法之后呢，哇，听完之后呢，哇，他们内心升起很大的这个喜悦。那一般上呢，有这种喜悦心的人呢，都是有一定的这个身心疗愈的这种作用的所以我们讲这种身心的这个喜悦呢，这种喜悦的力量呢，它可以呢促使我们身体内就是产生一些化学的一个转变那么在这里呢，我也想在这个中部的这个著书里面里面也有提到一个相关的这个事件，就是有一位呢正在听闻这个说法的这个比丘呢当他听得非常入神的时候突然间给一条毒蛇咬伤那他不管那么当然这个毒蛇的这个毒浴呢就在他身体里面扩散了，所以呢感觉到这个身体呢剧痛呢就升起来了。那个时候呢他就观想了，他说自从他出家到现在以来他都呢持非常清净的戒，所以呢当他意识到从他出家到现在持这个清净戒的时候呢，他的内心呢升起非常强大的这个喜悦跟这个力量这个满足，这种强大的力量，这种喜悦的这种力量呢会在我们说在他身体里面发生一些变化当然我们讲说这种变化呢，我们就当然里面有很多化学的这个反应我们不是化学家所以呢我们只能够就是说在身体里面有一些化学的这个反应那么这种化学的反应呢，它也许可以促进我们这个体内的一些保健的因子就是因子，那么可以令到他的身体呢可以得到痊愈所以呢我们讲说修行我们一定要升起喜悦的心，比如说看到人家做善事，我们很快乐的，我们很喜悦的来随喜赞叹。那这种喜悦的心呢，能够在我们的身体里面呢，产生一种非常疗效一种良好的这个效用所以我会说，这个喜悦好喜就是我们心的一种抗生素因为是心的抗生素，所以它也可以导致我们身体的痊愈。OK， Okay, so now we have discussed, 8 suttas, okay, that quoted from the Pali suttas. Okay, what are these 8 suttas contain? It's basically about walking meditation, right? Insight meditation, seeing things as they are, right? And, to have faith, confidence in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sanghas, and ethical conduct learned by noble ones. I talk about the 10 types of perception, and then talk about the 7 factors of enlightenment. Okay, so these are the methods that can improve the health of the body, right? To help the sick, to end the suffering of the body, or even to cure the sickness. Okay, so now I'm going to explore, the question of how meditation as a training of mind can improve the physical health or even to cure disease. So we will analyze the 2 concepts taken, one from suttas and another one from Abhidhammas. Okay, and the sutta is about the clear faculties and pure and bright complexion. Right? This one is quoted from the sutta. You find many places this short segment. And then another one is the 4 modes of origin of materiality. Okay, so in Abhidhamma, the Sangha had mentioned, these 4 types of the origin of materiality. Okay, so these 2 concepts are quite important, to understand, the operation of the body and mind medicine. So to provide a complete theoretical explanation of the Vipassana meditation, the healing the physical illnesses. OK， 那么我们来看一下，在我这里引用的就是巴利经和阿毗达摩的身心医学。那么刚才我们也看了8部经里面这8部经里面都提到一个东西，就是修习这以下的这个禅修呢可以呢促进我们的身体健康所以我们再回顾一下。那刚才我们看到的有哪些？就是提到的行禅还有包括内观的禅修还有就是什么？还有对这个佛法僧三宝，还有这个圣洁的这种的信心还有10种小修行的方法还有就是气觉知所以呢，刚才我们看到的这种种的经典呢，它可以呢增进我们身体的健康那也可以帮助我们呢熄灭这个痛苦，还有疗愈，还有治疗这些疾病。那接下来呢，我们要来探讨的就是，我们都知道禅修呢，就是作为心训练的一种禅修呢，但它如何能够改善我们身体的健康呢？乃至治疗我们身体的这个疾病呢？所以呢，我将从这个经典跟这阿毗达摩2个概念，一个是诸根明净，一个是诸根明净，貌圆清净这个概念和另外一个摄法的4种生源就是它起源这2个概念来看我们佛教的这个身心医学OK。Okay, so this is, I think there are 4 suttas I quote. For the first one, for the first one from the sutta support, right, scriptural support, that is clear faculties and pure and bright complexion. This one is from the Samyutta Nikaya. Okay, so it says that in these suttas, which I quote, right, give it says that the Buddhist meditation is essentially a training of mind, right? Though it's a training of mind, but to some extent, right, it can influence and change the physical appearance of the meditators. Right? It says that the venerable Sariputtras visited venerable Anuruddhas. Okay, and after exchanging with each other, Sariputta said to Anuruddhas, "My dear friend Anuruddhas, your faculties are so clear. Your complexion is so pure and bright. What kind of meditation are you usually practice these days?" You see, among the sanghas, you see, they exchange each other's, you see. Then the Anuruddha replied, they said, "These days, I usually meditate with my mind firmly established in the 4 kinds of mindfulness meditation." Okay, so what are these 4? I meditate, observing an aspect of the body, feeling, mind, and Dhamma. I'm very keen, aware, and mindful, rid of desire and aversion for the world. Okay, so this is a reply of Venerable Anuruddhas to Sariputtas, you see, or because of his practice, because of his meditation on this 4 foundation mindfulness, that's why his faculties are so clear and his complexion are so pure and bright. So you see, Yeah, I think that's interesting. You want to have your faculties clear, your complexion pure and bright. Yeah? Please come to attend the meditation retreat. That definitely helps you. Okay. And 那么我们来看哈，第一部经哈，就是里面有提到，就是佛弟子之间的对话哈，就是有关于这个禅修哈，在这个禅修之后啊，那么他们升起了这个什么诸根明净啊，茂源清净啊。那么这些经典呢，看到的就是说，我们看到就禅修本身呢，它本质上就是一种解脱嘛，就是心的顺念呢。但是在某一种程度上呢，它可以影响或者是改变一个禅修者的这个身体的外貌啊。那身体的外貌，诸根明净，这个根是什么呢？就是总的六根，眼耳鼻舌身意啊，哇明净啊，然后茂源清净哈。那么这一部经呢，在相应部里面啊，有一天呢，这个舍利弗尊者拜访这个阿那律尊者啊，在他们相互的问讯之后呢，那舍利弗呢就问阿那尊者了，阿那律啊，他说哇，贤友啊，阿那律哦，你诸根明净啊，茂源清净哦，非常的皎洁。那尊者阿那律呢，你是常依何法而住呢？那阿那律回复他说：贤友哈，我现呢今依心常安住于这个四念处。OK 所以呢，这里的根就是指眼耳鼻舌身这五种感官这是茂源，还有茂源就是指这个脸的这个肤色，还有神采跟光泽所以呢只要是要我们的这个诸根明净其实不需要去参加做什么 cosmetic 来参加这个禅修呢，自然你可以得到诸根明净茂源清净。Then the second suttas is from the Southern Nikaya, that is Vivekaja suttas, born of seclusion. The sutta is this. One day, Venerable Ananda said to Sariputtas, said, Reverend Sariputtas, your faculties are so clear and your complexion is so pure. What meditation will you practice today? You see, among themselves, usually Sanghas, when they get together, they will ask each other, how's your practice now? You see? Then, Sariputtas replies, I quite secluded from the sensual pleasure, secluded from the unskillful qualities. I entered and remained in the first absorption, which has the rapture and bliss born of seclusion, right? While placing the mind and keeping it connected. So it says that, Sariputta was dwelling in the jhana, okay? And because of his abiding in the jhanas, he has, his faculties clear and complexion pure and bright. So this is also for another passage. 那接下来我们看第二部经呢，就是在相应部里面呢，有一天呢，阿难尊者就问了这个舍利弗尊者同样的问题吧，就是说贤友舍利弗哇，你诸根明净茂源清净哇，你是依何法而住呢？舍利弗就回答了，贤友呢，我从这个离不善法后呢，我进入后住于有寻有失离而生喜乐的初禅，其实就是进入了初禅所以呢在禅定里面得到的那种宁静得到的那种喜悦呢，的确能够让你圆融貌美诸根清净所以呢，这个不是用钱买来的，这个是你的心有多平静呢都能够呢在你的脸色呢呈现出来。Okay, now we look at the third suttas. Okay, the third suttas. It says also one day, right? Sariputtas came out from the retreat, meditation retreat, and went to see the Buddhas. Right, he bowed and sat down, to one side, and the Buddha said to him, Sariputtas, your faculties are so clear. This is the Buddhas. Asked Sariputta, well, your faculties are so clear, and your complexion is pure and bright. What kind of meditation are you usually practicing these days? Then Sariputta replied, said, Bhante, usually practice meditation on emptiness. Okay, so this is a word from the Shunyata Vihara. Okay, meditation on emptiness. Then the Buddha replies, good Sariputtas. It seems you usually practice a meditation of a great man. For emptiness, it's a meditation of great man. So Buddha describes the Shunyata Vihara as the meditation of great men. So I'm a little bit, interested. I said, hey, what is this emptiness? What is this meditation of great men? Here, you see, it said a bhikkhu might wish. May I usually practice a meditation of emptiness? Then he should reflect, right? Along the path that I went for alms, or in the place I wandered for alms, or along the path that I returned from alms, was there any desire or greed or hate or delusion or repulsion in my heart for sight known by the eyes, etc., etc.? Okay, eyes, ear, nose, tongue. But suppose that upon checking, a bhikkhu knows that there is no such desire or greed, hate, or delusion or repulsion in your heart. They should meditate with rapture and joy, training day and night in these skillful qualities. Okay, so it says that this skillful quality is arouse that kind of rapture, is arouse that kind of joys, right? That kind of prasadi, that kind of piti. So you see, these are two very important ingredients, even in the 7 factors of enlightenment. As we practice a meditation, right, we also experience the rapture and joys. That's why monks, they can live in seclusion, right, because they have these elements, they have these rapture and joys in their mind. That's why they won't feel bored. Even they themselves, can stay alone in the forest. Okay. 那么接下来我们看这个波氏清净经在中部里面。那么一天呢，这个舍利弗呢就从这个禅定里面出来嘛，然后就见世尊。那么在抵达之后呢，就世尊就问他了，说舍利弗啊，你诸根明净，忽是清净你是常依何法而住呢？你看佛陀还问他呢。然后呢，舍利弗就回答说：“尊者我呢常住于空性住巴利文叫 Shunyata Vihara。”那佛陀就回答了说：“舍利弗好啊，你现在的确都住于大丈夫住处。你看佛陀用大丈夫住处，这大丈夫住处呢就是空所以佛陀讲的这个空性呢，就是指这个大丈夫住处。那什么叫大丈夫住处呢？那佛陀就跟这个舍利弗讲说，比丘呢要应该这样子来审视。他说我呢在为了拓钵进入村落的路上，在为了拓钵而行的地方，在为了拓钵从村落返回的路上呢那么我们要审查就是我心中有没有对这些眼色眼视看的这个色呢升起这个贪升起这个欲升起这个嗔恨升起这个愚痴升起这个怨恶的心。 OK 只要是没有的话呢那么他将那位比丘呢能够呢以喜悦而住在善法上日月随行。所以你看我们出家人修行呢最重要的元素呢，当然这里面谈到的就是喜悦。所以这个喜悦，这种清净，这种喜悦呢，是修行很重要的这个元素它可以呢让，所以很多人就会有一种错误的了解，就是说哎呀你修行一个人苦不苦好像很可怜这样子。就像以前我妈妈一直都很担心说哎呀你一个人修行怎么样，所以我妈妈所以呢从小时候妈妈一直在催我说哎你赶快结婚了这样子，以后老了有一个伴什么之类的，我就觉得很好笑所以呢我们知道说为什么出家人他可以一个人单处呢，其实就是因为他有喜悦这个善法呢在支撑他整个的生活。所以呢修行禅修它非常重要。所以我们讲说这个是大丈夫住处。 OK Then, yeah, then another sutta. I think this is the last suttas. Yeah. So this sutta is from Sarthak Nikaya. It's called Aranya Suttas. Yeah. It says that certain deities expressed her surprise that this bhikkhu lives such a simple, restrained life, and the appearance is so serene. Right? The Buddha replied, they do not sorrow over the past, nor do they hanker for the future. They maintain themselves with what is present. That's why their complexion is so serene. Okay, so 那么在另外一部经呢，这部经叫《灵野经》啊，就是有一天天人问世尊一个问题，他说住在森林的人哇寂静而且呢能具有这个梵行，而且还有日中意识，为什么他们的呼摄呢是这么的明净呢？佛陀就回答说，他们这些比丘呢，他不忧伤过去，也不祈求未来，他依当下而活，所以呢他们的呼摄明净所以呢这也是很有趣的所以呢我们的生活里面呢就是要活在当下live in the present moment. Now we look at this, the second concept, that is the four modes of origin of materiality. You see these Abhidhammas, right, mention the four types of origin of materialities. Okay, when they explain the meditations lead to the pure and bright complexion. You see, the idea of origin of materiality, can be used to explain the meditation that affecting the physical health or even to cure diseases, right? To eventually lead to the clear faculties and pure and bright complexion. Right? So in the Theravada Abhidhamma, particularly Abhidhamma Sangha, mention these four types of four modes of origin of materiality. You see, you look at this, the slide there. I mentioned four: materiality originated from karma, materiality originated from consciousness, materiality originated from temperature, materiality originated from nutrient. Okay, so it says our physical body, right, is made up of these four types of materiality. So therefore, the health of the body depends on the quality of the sources of these four types of materiality. Okay, and of course the interaction of these four. So we have to understand these four types of materiality that made up an individual. 那我们来看在这个阿毗达摩呢，在谈到禅修能够使到我们的呼摄明净它里面提到的四种摄法的这个起源那这四种摄法的起源呢包括什么？就是有这四种就是业升起的摄法，或者是心升起的摄法，或者是十界升起的摄法，还有这个识升起的摄法。什么业？我想大家都懂就是我们过去世的业所以你看我们现在的身体是因为过去世的业造成的这个过去世的业已经过去了，所以呢我们没办法改变。但是心生色呢，心生色就是说我们当下的这个心识活动所升起的这个色法OK 那么还有十界生色，这个十界生色呢，就是指什么？指温度十界就是 temperature 嘛，指温度啦指气候就是住在不同的气候呢，也会影响我们的身体的，还有包括外在的这个环境也会影响我们的身体。然后另外一种呢是声色，就是指我们所吃的这个食物呢也会让我们的身体产生变化的所以我们说一个众生他的这个身体是由这四种的色法构成的所以一个人的身体健康与否呢也是取决于这四种的这个色法的这个品质，他们的好坏还有他们相互的这个关系 OK So anyway, sorry, I didn't explain what is this karma. Materiality originated from karma. Here refer the materiality produced by our past karma. You see, this is what we inherited from the past. Okay, so we are talking about the materiality originated from the karma. And how about the consciousness? Here also refer to the mind, refer to the chittas. It talks about the current mental activities that also caused For example, you have the unwholesome mental activities, okay, you're bound to have a lot of sickness, right? So you want to have the good physical body, right? Probably you need to arouse, the wholesome mental activity. Here referred to the mental activity. Okay, they also affect the material body. And the third one, the materiality originated from temperature. Temperature include the climate, or by some external environment. Okay, and the nutriment refer to the food we take. So, okay, and what else? Of these four types of materiality, here I would like to talk about the materiality originated from consciousness. Okay, in order to explain, why people have clear faculties and the bright complexion, the bright, the complexion. You see, when we are talking about these things, we are talking about, in a meditation, right? We are generating the wholesome thought, generating the wholesome thought, like for example, the joys, the raptures, you see. So eventually, you see, the materiality originated from consciousness, you see. This mind-generated materiality arising from this kind of wholesome mind that also affects the other three types of materiality. Therefore, changing overall, the physical appearance and improving the health, the physical health. So, especially, when you have a strong and very powerful wholesome mind, say for example, the wholesome mind arisen from the 7 factors of enlightenment, they will sure, cure certain physical ailments, physical, the illness. And you see, this consciousness, the born materials, is just one of the 4 types of materiality, right? Of course, our health also depending on other 3 types. That's why, in meditation, if we are generating a wholesome thought, you see, this kind of wholesome thought is also one of the origin of the materiality. Okay, and of course, this one can be improved, through effort, through meditation. But other 3 types, and of course, when you're talking about the materiality originated from temperature and nutriment, if you want to have a good health, then definitely you can change it. Like for example, you are living in the living in the aircon room or what, you have the proper healthy diets, the proper medicines, you see, or then health, very clean, living environment, or very, very, very comfortable climate. That can explain, why people can live a long life, right? So that's okay, we can change it. But as to the karma born, you see, materiality originated from karma, that is a result of the past life, past karma. So that's why when we talk about, the goodness of the nature of karma born materiality, that has been determined in the past life. So anyway, we cannot, change the nature of those karma born materiality, but we can change, this consciousness born materiality, by cultivating, the meditation, you see, all these things. You see, so that definitely can improve the overall, the physical health of the body. Okay. 好，我们来看一下，就是谈到这4种的这个升起的这个色法哈。那么，其中有一个呢，就是这个心生色啊，心生色。那么这个心生色呢，就是说我们当下的心，假如说我们当下的心有很多善的心所呢，这个善的心所呢，假如它是这个善的心所呢，也包括就是会带来这种愉悦的这种果报的话呢，这种善的心所呢，它可以呢改变我们这个身体的这个状态哈， 当然也能够促进我们的身体健康啊。那么我们再看一下，就是从这个业声色、十界声色跟四声色。OK， 那我们再来看一下这个业声色，我们来看一下业声色哈。那你看这个业声色呢，就是我们过去世所造的这个业嘛。基本上呢，这个业声色呢，我们是没有办法去改变的哈。那么呢，我们可以改变呢，从我们的心声色，从这个十界声色，可以从这个四声色来改变我们身体啊，这个是可以的，对不对？比如说我们住的这个环境啊，这个环境呢有一个很好的这个舒适的环境，或者是我们住的地方有很好的食物哈，那这些呢都是可以改变我们的这个身体的状况啊。但是呢，这个业的这个声色呢没有办法改变，因为是过去的，所以呢，我们可以透过这个新声色来改变整体的这个身体的这个业 ，OK 当然，因为时间的关系所以我好像不太能够讲很多。All right， 那么我们来看最后一个了So now we look at it. It's okay. Anyway, right? You see a lot of research, a lot of articles published in the West, talking about this Buddhist meditation can bring about the overall well-being of the body. Okay, and another thing is, of course, I really admire the wisdoms of the Buddhas, right? More than 2,000, you see, who more than 2,500 years, he was able to gain insight into the nature of physical and mental phenomena, and clearly explain the relationship between the Buddhist meditation and physical health. 所以呢，当然，在过去的很多这些很多现在很多西方的很多这些研究都研究说禅修呢可以改变我们大脑神经的这个结构就是这个模式所以当然这个禅修的这个利益太多了所以呢我们不得不要赞叹佛陀他能够在2500多年已经能够看到身心的这个现象的本质，那么也很清晰的就是说明佛教禅修与我们这个身体健康之间的关系。Okay, so now I leave it to Brother Chim. Sorry, a slightly delay.
Sadhu. Thank you, Bante, for the very profound, inspiring talk this morning. Very mentally and spiritually enriching. There's so much things that we learned this morning, and time now is for question and answer. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, do you have any questions for Venerable Dhammapala? Due to time constraint, I think we just take one question, Bante.
Mm-hmm.
Due to time constraint, we just take one question only. Yes.
Okay.
Bante, must walking meditation be done slowly?
Okay.
Can brisk walking also be done mindfully as a form of walking meditation?
What do you mean brisk? Slowly?
Walk fast. Walk fast.
Walk fast. Okay.
Can walking fast also be done mindfully?
Why not? You see, if you look at the walking meditation, usually, like say for example in the Mahayana, they usually have what they call the brisk walking after their meal. They walk very fast. They call 跑香, no? 跑香 is running, not even brisk. It's a running meditation. That definitely is a form of meditation. Yeah, that definitely can regulate the physical body.
Thank you, Bante. Okay, due to time factor, Bante, I think we have to stop here. Once again, thank you so much for this very profound and inspiring talk this morning. And on behalf of our devotees, I'd like to express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to Bante for teaching us the Dhamma this morning. Sadhu.
No question.
Okay, thank you very much, Venerable Dr. Dhammapala, for the very interesting talk, meditation versus health, longevity, illness, healing. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, this morning we have all participated in the Sunday Buddha Puja service, listening to Venerable's Dhamma talk. If the merits accrue, let us invite Venerable Dr. Dhammapala to lead us in a dedication of merits to all sentient beings, families, relatives, friends, and to the departed ones. Over to Bante.
Patidana, a transference of merit. Akasata chabomata devanaga mahedika punyang tang anumoditva chirang rakantu loka sasanang chirang rakantu desanang chirang rakantu mang parang etawata cha amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabe deva sabe buddha sabe sattanumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idam me nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatina hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina punya kamena mahame bala samagamo Sata samagamo hotu yavani vanapatiya idang me punyam asava kaya wahang hotu idang me punyam nibbana sapat sayo hotu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipatiya Buddhang Pujemi Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipatiya Dhammang Pujemi Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipatiya Sangham Pujemi Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipatiya Mata Pitaro Pujemi Imaya Dhammanudhamma Patipatiya Acariye Pujemi.
Right, to our Dhamma friends from various locations, thank you very much for participating. To those who have stayed until to the dedication of merits, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to you. Thank you. For those who have participated in the comment box, thank you for your kind words. We have come to the end of this 89th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. The next Puja service will be on the following Sunday, 26th. I'm pleased to announce that we will be having the Buddha Puja service at the Shrine Hall of Subanjaya Vihara. Yes, the Vihara is open, but we are following the government's SOP. You are welcome to the Vihara. Please be cautious. Continue to wear your face mask, and we will live stream the same Buddha service and the Dhamma talk via the Facebook and YouTube. But however, we will give you more information over to the Facebook or to the WhatsApp group. It'd be good that you check with your society's Facebook for the information. Remember, continue to follow the SOP, stay safe, stay cautious. May you and family be safe, well, happy, and peaceful always. Sukhi hontu, sabbe sattha sukhita hontu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang uditego Sasene marang Dana di Dhamma vidina Jitwa munindo